Cove with DoD Fed Globe, and today I have with me attorney Bridget Wilson, and she has an incredible background with Don't Ask, Don't Tell and other LGBT areas. Hello, Bridget.
Hi, Lisa. Well, I think what I want to do is talk about how I got involved before Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which was probably on a really active level around 1972 or 73 with the prior regulations. At that time, people were being discharged for homosexual tendencies, for example, or associating with known homosexuals. And almost everyone who was separated got what in those days was called an undesirable discharge, affectionately known as a UD. That level of discharge now is called an OTH, other than other. And it was given literally to people for just being gay. Phenomenal stuff. So I started with witch hunt fighting in the 70s here. And witch hunts really existed until after Don't Ask, Don't Tell went into effect. And when I mean witch hunts, I mean broad-based investigations, really predominantly of females. For example, when I was in the mid-70s here, it was very common, Miramar was Naval Air Station at the time. And every 6 months, what was then NIS, Naval Investigative Services, would do an investigation looking for lesbians in the female barracks at NIS Miramar. I mean, that was a very common type of thing. And so I started working with witch hunt resistance. By the 80s, there was another pickup in the number of witch hunts. And I worked on some shipboard witch hunts, one of which was the witch hunt aboard the USS Dixon in 81, 82. And we got, 83, we really got a lot of attention for that. Similarly, I'm skipping an awful lot of history here. The 1988-89 witch hunts at Paris Island, in which I think literally a majority of women in the Marine Corps found themselves under some kind of scrutiny. So prior to Don't Ask, Don't Tell, there were anti-gay policies worse than this. The problem is when Don't Ask, Don't Tell went into effect, it left the mythology among the public and actually service members that it was okay to be gay as long as you didn't tell anyone at work, which simply was not true. And when the Service Members Legal Defense Network was founded, Dixon Osborne and Michelle Beneke, I worked with them from before it was founded actually. I credit those two with ending the witch hunts in the U.S. Armed Forces. I really do. And since that time, we've just bit by bit, piece by piece, step by step, done our best to make the policy unenforceable. I think that now that you're repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, they will have the same problems. They won't have the same remedies because military people have even slightly less remedies because right now, ultimately, a service member who is gay in federal employment, LGBT in the federal employment based on 2 different executive orders, can actually make a complaint to the Office of General Counsel. They can raise their matter to the Merit Systems Protection Board and even litigation if they choose to, as it's an impermissible labor practice in essence. And I think the biggest clue for people fighting discrimination, whether it's federal or state or local, is that you cannot fight discrimination out of a closet. I can't tell people enough that you don't have to be out in the workplace, but you cannot be afraid for people to know that you are. Because if you're going to fight back, you have to look them in the eye and say sort of, what's it to you? It's really important that people get together, whether it's as civilian employees or military members, and understand that the power of one plus the power of one plus the power of one starts to be pretty important. And you have to be willing to not be afraid. That's a hard thing to do, I get that.